Washington now, many people feeling President Trump is fanning the flames, blaming what he calls weak governors for the violent riots sweeping the country.
Meanwhile, presidential advisors are debating how the president should respond to the riots. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ross Palumbo joining us live now with more. Ross.
Ed, Calvin, and Nicole, breaking right now. We are just hearing that the Attorney General Bill Barr has ordered riot teams to come down from Washington, D.C. to Fort Lauderdale to assist local police. Riot teams from the Federal Department of Prisons also will be assisting here in D.C. with all the protests. I want to give you a sense of exactly where I am. Take a look at this back behind me. That is the White House. And in between the White House and where I'm standing right now is Lafayette Park. And this is where protesters have been gathering. In fact, this is the building last night burned down by protesters just a few hundred feet from the White House. And as you can see back behind me now, protesters are again starting to get to this area. We are just learning tonight that when these protests began out here near the White House on Friday, the president was taken to a bunker for his own security.
Steps from the White House, hundreds of raging protesters, an entire building up in flames. Explosions ripping through Lafayette Park, and all of this while the president was watching from inside.
No justice, no peace.
We've now confirmed when it began on Friday night, Trump and his family were taken down to a bunker below the White House.
Would you agree that he is hiding out on this issue, and is that a good posture to be in?
I would not agree with that at all. Look,
during all of it over the past 3 days, the president fuming, retweeting a warning that this isn't going to stop until the good guys are willing to use overwhelming force against the bad guys. It comes after a weekend of Trump fanning the flames, evoking images of civil rights era police sicking dogs on protesters, when he warned they could be met with the most vicious dogs, the most ominous weapons, then trying to encourage a MAGA night counter-protest that never materialized, but the president denying he was stoking racial division.
They love African American people, they love black people. MAGA loves black people.
And while surrounded by all of this in Washington, Trump today lashing out at governors in a call.
What happened in the state of Minnesota, they were electric stuff all over the world, but I've never seen anything like it, and the whole world was laughing. And I said, you got to use the National Guard in big numbers, and you haven't had any problems since. I mean, they don't. They're not going to go there now. They'll go to some other place because you dominated. You dominated.
The White House now saying the president meant dominating streets, not the protesters themselves.
it is their responsibility to police their streets.
The press secretary saying the president has met his responsibilities as commander-in-chief.
Where is the president? Why has he not delivered an address to the nation?
Continual statements, as he's made day and day and day and day again, they don't stop anarchy. What stops anarchy is action, and that's what the president is working on right now.
Stand by. Also breaking right now this afternoon at the end of the briefing, take a look at this. The White House showing video clips of police and protesters interactive in a positive way across the country. This one clip right here, they showed, you probably recognize it, this is ours from Local 10, recorded and aired over and over again beginning yesterday. Now the press secretary showing this and saying that it's, quote, something we haven't seen in media coverage. The fact is, though, this clip has been shown over and over again, not only by us, by national media as well, including Good Morning America. The White House only had access to our video clip, in fact, and others, because they were recorded and are being shown by local television stations across America. Back out here live, we are just about a block away from the White House, and I want to show you what's happening. This protest is beginning to build right here. Once again, you can see there are hundreds upon hundreds of people gathering in the street, even though a curfew is now being ordered here in Washington, D.C., and it's going to be in effect until about 7 o'clock tonight. Pretty early, but protesters are already out here just a little after 5. And over here, you see inside the park, that's where the police are. In fact, none of the protesters are being allowed in the park at this point. And in the back, I don't know, Danny, if you can see that, but you see the National Guard trucks rolling there. That is on Pennsylvania Avenue. Of course, the White House itself on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and that is something new. All of this designed to keep the peace. So we'll see if that happens. I have to tell you, most of the protests out here since the beginning for the last 3 days have been largely peaceful. It's only at night that a few people have become violent. But Calvin and Nicole, as you can see at this hour, It looks like there is a significantly beefed up police presence keeping the park clear, keeping everyone here on the north side of the park. We'll stay out here and monitor the situation for now, though. That's the very latest live from the White House. Back to you.
And we certainly do hope it stays peaceful. All right.